Gianni Infantino refuses to resign as FIFA president. Under fire chief apologizes and vows to fight on as he breaks cover after being forced to abandon World Cup sale plans. Embattled FIFA president Gianni Infantino has apologized and pledged to fight on following an intense round of crisis talks with top executives. His disastrous attempt to sell shares in a new World Cup venture to private investors catastrophically backfired and led to widespread calls for his resignation. But Infantino will continue in his post and appeared untroubled by the scandal engulfing his leadership, grinning as he watched a Women's Africa Cup of Nations game on Wednesday night. Infantino broke cover and was seen in the stands for Malawi's clash with Zambia at Madina Stadium in Rabat, Morocco.
Tired of constantly refilling your pet's water bowl? This filtered fountain keeps water circulating and offers a generous capacity, giving cats and small dogs convenient access to flowing water. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/5 right now.
Infantino was captured on the live broadcast smiling, and the weight of the mounting pressure against his presidency showed no signs of manifesting. He was positioned to the left of FIFA Secretary-General Matthias Grafström, who was also smiling, despite publicly speaking out against Infantino's scheme. FIFA President Gianni Infantino, right, and FIFA Secretary-General Matthias Grafström, left, appeared in high spirits while watching a women's AFCON game on Wednesday night. Despite their relaxed demeanor, they issued a groveling apology on Wednesday, telling staff, "We sincerely apologize for these errors and commit to them not happening again. With this in mind, we will conduct a necessary review, and a report will be presented to the FIFA Council at its next scheduled meeting." FIFA also shared an update on their website lauding a positive and constructive meeting. Infantino arrived at a crunch meeting in Morocco earlier on Wednesday amid mounting pressure. He had summoned senior FIFA officials to the Moroccan city of Sale for crisis talks after plans to sell £3.1 billion in World Cup stakes leaked last week. The Swiss football administrator has since scrapped the proposals after widespread opposition, including an internal rebellion at FIFA. UEFA and CONCACAF, the body for North and Central America and the Caribbean, are both calling for Infantino to step down, with Europe declaring a lack of confidence in the FIFA president. Pressure grew further after Jordan FA president Prince Ali bin Hussein accused him of blackmail, becoming the first Asian nation to rebel against the FIFA president. Jordan became the 91st member association to move against Infantino, assuming all UEFA and CONCACAF nations follow the stance set by their continental bodies. 106 nations are needed to depose Infantino as president. FIFA President Gianni Infantino arrived at an emergency meeting in Sale, Morocco on Wednesday. Infantino is facing mounting pressure over his failed plan to sell off stakes in the FIFA World Cup. Football legend Luis Figo became the latest high-profile individual to call for him to resign, while Arsene Wenger distanced himself from Infantino's plans. A car carrying Infantino was seen arriving at FIFA's Africa Regional Office in Sale on Wednesday. The meeting comes hours after Figo became the latest major name in football to demand his resignation. In an explosive piece for Daily Mail Sport, which will further ramp up the pressure on the under-fire FIFA chief, the Portuguese legend described his now aborted World Cup sell-off as the lowest, most deceitful and cravenly self-interested behavior I have ever witnessed, and a grubby, underhand plot. Across 600 no-holds-barred words, Figo, who had initially backed Infantino in 2015, brands the disgraced exec a relic who should have no part in football's future, and accuses him of a litany of abuses. Also referencing the now infamous suspension of the ban behind Folarin Balogun's red card, and the halftime show at the World Cup final, which broke the laws of the game. Infantino has debased the office of FIFA president that he promised to elevate. The former Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Inter Milan star writes. He has lied, deceived, and tried to feather his own nest at the expense of the game he is supposed to serve. Figo, now 53, is viewed by many as a potential successor to Alexander Ceferin, head of UEFA, which is leading the war against Infantino. Figo and Jordan's Prince Ali had both previously stood against former FIFA president Sepp Blatter in the 2015 elections. Figo ultimately withdrew from the process, while Prince Ali pulled out after the second round of voting. Blatter announced his resignation 4 days after re-election amid a vast backlash. Infantino is facing his own backlash following his World Cup plans, with FIFA's chief operating officer Kevin Lammer saying he was deceived by the project, and others, including Chief of Global Football Development Arsene Wenger, have distanced themselves from the hastily dropped plan. Figo branded Infantino as a relic who should have no part in football's future in an explosive article for Daily Mail Sport. Figo, who had initially backed Infantino in 2015, claimed the Swiss official has debased the office of FIFA president. With morale among staff said to be rock bottom, according to insiders, Secretary General Matthias Grafstrom sent an internal email to staff citing a sad and reproachable series of events, and perhaps tellingly pointing out that individuals, unstable moments, and unfortunate episodes come and go. Figo, a former FIFA presidential candidate, starts, "I could write 10,000 words on the problems at FIFA, but the solution needs only 3. Infantino must go." He adds, "I have loved football all my life. I was a professional player for 20 years, and believe me, I have met some rogues in my time in the game. But what I have seen exposed in the last 10 days is the lowest, most deceitful and cravenly self-interested behavior I have ever witnessed. The man who would do that, the man who would try to force through such major changes just to enrich himself and his friends, is a relic of the game's past and should have no part in its future." The Portuguese, who won 127 caps for his country, then rounds on Infantino for a lack of transparency. "If it was such a good idea, why not tell your members when you had them all in a room before the World Cup final?" he asks. "If it was such a robust plan, why not tell your members the risks as well as what you describe as the benefits? If the scheme was a no-brainer, why not be honest about the fact that it was going to give you a $30 a year job at the end of it?" Figo adds, "None of this was done. It's not robust when you fail to be transparent about the crippling returns that private equity always seek. It's not bold when you fail to explain that once you have sold your share it is gone forever, and you have disinherited your successors from ownership of the World Cup." FIFA legends have reportedly declined to publicly support Infantino amid the backlash to his plans. And it's not honest when you fail to mention that, after you have delivered the head of the World Cup on a platter to your mates in DC, they are going to give you a job worth 5 times your current salary. Figo then highlights FIFA's staggering level of wealth, asking how many shares the $5 billion in its reserves could buy in this grubby underhand plot. "Infantino has debased the office of FIFA president that he promised to elevate," he writes. "He has lied, deceived, and tried to feather his own nest at the expense of the game he is supposed to serve. He should go." Now, according to the Times, allies of Infantino had been trying to persuade FIFA legends to publicly support Infantino, but have been unsuccessful. The FIFA legends are among former international players who have been paid to appear at the governing body's events.